Now, just I'm going to clear out can you able to see this? Okay, I'll be changing it. I'll be changing it. Is it okay? And now, is it reverse? Is it okay?
Sir.
Okay. Now let me clear down the first diagram. We have seen that it is been in only one direction, and the other
Reverse direction, sir.
Wait. Now okay?
No, sir.
Now it's okay?
Yes, sir. Now it is correct.
Okay, fine, Andy.
Yes,
Please, if any disturbance, so I have to roll out the camera here. Okay, fine, Andy. So now, so this is how where in the first diagram, all the radiations are in only one direction in both the cases, so that m will be equal to 1. In second diagram here, the radiations which are moving in are propagating the wave inside the waveguide. So half will be of in this particular direction and remaining half are in this particular direction. So that there are two ways in which the wave is being propagating into the waveguide. So that m is equal to 2. But whereas here it is being propagating in only one direction. So n will be equal to 1. So that it is TE to 1. But whereas in this case, we have the wave is being propagating in 3. So this is been of like this. So in 3 different directions, the wave it is being propagating. Hence, m will be equal to 3. But we do not have any wave which is being propagating in this the particular direction. So that n will be equal to 0. So that this mode is being considered to be TE30 mode. Is that clear, Andy?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Andy. Now I'm going to explain about the TM mode. In the case of TM mode, we'll see this. Where if I take it is somewhat different, not that as in a previous one. Now assume that we'll be seeing the mode of propagation for transverse magnetic. A simple dot it is being seen over here. So where it is being where the wave is being propagating at the center, if we consider, then the mode can be easily analyzed. So this is the M and this is N. In this case, the mode can be analyzed either x-axis, exactly it should be normal to the wave which is being propagated. Only one wave it looks like it is being propagating here, so that the normal axis to the wave which is being propagating along the x-axis is being 1. So that n will be equal to 1 here. And one more, the possibility along the normal, along the y-axis, we have only one possibility. So this is nothing but this is x-axis, this is y-axis, and this is z-axis. Okay. So where only one possibility in the normal axis we have to propagate the wave, so that m is also equal to 1. So that we have it is Tm m n. So the mode of propagation will be equal to Tm11. Now it will be better understood if we take one more example here. Now we can tell the answer also. So the waveguide, if it is been like this, and the mode of propagation as if I take like this. Okay, if I take like this, now can you tell me what is the value of m and n, or what is the mode actually? What is Tm? Which mode the wave is being propagating? You can put it in the chat box. So let me know what is the mode of propagation for this particular waves which is been propagating. 3 2 would respond, and 3 2 or 2 3. Don't confuse, Andy. It will be either 2 3 or 3 2 or.
2, 3, sir.
2, 3. Good response, Andy. You are concentrating. I'm very much happy to listen that you are concentrating. It is not TE, Andy. It has been TM. We are discussing about TM. So that's what the arrow mark representation, it has been TE mode, and the dot representation has been TM mode. Okay. Don't confuse with this. So you can easily understand that the wave normal to this particular line is been 1. So it's been of second one. So totally there are 2 normal cases along the y-axis to the mode of propagations. So m is equal to 2 here. And whereas for this case, we have 3 here. The 3 normal axis along the x-axis to the waves of which is being propagating into the waveguide. So that n is equal to 3. So that we have, I'll be explaining and I'll be, if you got it, it's okay. Then fine and good. So then this is the mode of propagation is 2. So m and n. So m is being equal to 2 and n is equal to 3. So Tm 3. So accordingly, you can keep on increasing the mode of propagations over there. Okay. So this is the type of mode of propagations. Now, another small topic, by that I'll be winding up the class, that is cutoff frequencies. Cutoff frequencies. It is represented by EFC. Let me clear down this one, cover this small topic, and I'll be winding up the class. And here, it has been seen that in this case, the cutoff frequency, you might have seen in the case of TM mode, the derivation, what we have derived in TM. So at once we have used that kc square is equal to kx square plus ky square. And there we have substituted there the value there when x equal to 0 in the expression, we have a sin kx by kx plus b cos kx x. So in that we have substituted the boundary condition. We have noted down that x equal to 0 is ez equal to 0, and there we have found sin kx into a will be equal to 0 there. And here where a will be equal to 0, we have seen that a equal to 0 there. And there, as it is been k sin kx, a will be equal to 0 there. Then we have seen kx into a will be sin inverse of 0 in terms of m or n number of variables. It is been represented by m pi. Sin inverse of 0 can be represented by n terms as m pi. Then kx will be equal to m pi by a. And similarly, we have work for ky, it is been equal to n pi by b, where a and b are the dimensions of rectangular waveguide, m and n are the modes of propagation. So with that, we have an expression of cutoff frequency as c by 2 is equal to m by a whole square plus n by b whole square. M by a whole square plus n by b whole square, where this is nothing but a and this is the dimensions of b. Okay, so where m and n are the modes, a and b are the dimensions of the waveguide, and c is the velocity of light. So this is the most important expression which is used to calculate the cutoff frequency. Now the cutoff frequency can be given as where, as long as we can define that we have an operating frequency and a cutoff frequency, where if operating frequency, as the cutoff frequency is always, it will be less. So if there is a possibility that it will be more, as long as cutoff frequencies are less than the operating frequency, then those frequencies are allowed into the waveguide. If it has been greater than operating frequency, those will not be allowed. Hence, we can define this as the frequency at which there is no propagation of signal. The frequency at which there is no propagation of signal. The wave will not be propagated. So that is being called as cutoff frequency. So as long as fc is being less than f naught, the wave will be propagated into the waveguide. If it has been greater, it won't propagate. So this is the definition of cutoff frequency. Now we can calculate the cutoff frequencies for different modes. Just now I have explained as there are 2 modes. we can calculate for different cases. As if we take for TE11 mode, if we want to calculate the cutoff frequencies as cutoff frequency for TE11 mode, and if we can also calculate for TM11, and where for this case TE11 it is being given as we can substitute in the expression as it is being C by 2, which is being equal to the C by 2 will be equal to C by 2 into M. In the place of M, we need to substitute. In the place of M, it is being equal to 1, and it is being A whole square, plus it is in the place of B, it is being N, it is also 1, it is 1 by B whole square. So this is the cutoff frequency expression for TE11 mode. Same can be done for the TM11 also. We'll get the same expression. So hence, cutoff frequency for both TE and TM11 will be same as each other, 1 by A whole square plus 1 by B whole square. So likewise, they'll be asking in exam, what you calculate the mode of propagation or calculate the cutoff frequencies for different modes. So they may ask for TE21 also. So you have to subtract M is equal to 2 and N equal to 1. Substitute in this expression, we'll get the cutoff frequency. So this is how we can calculate the cutoff frequencies of the rectangular waveguide. Now, one more small clarity, where as I have said that TE mode, where we have different modes of possible case, TE00, TE01, TE10, and TE11. Among these four, where you can see this, where this mode, if you substitute M equal to 0 and N equal to 0, this totally will be equal to 0 only. Okay, will not get any mode here. This mode will not be existing. Okay, and apart from that, we too have the wavelength expression. It is exactly reverse. You can say lambda C is equal to 2AB by root of A square plus B square. Okay. So this is the wavelength expression which we have, which can be done. We'll see this in the next class. That's the next class. What I'm going to explain is about the dominant mode. That we'll see in the next class. I'm just having a glance over there. So these are the different modes of propagation in TE, and we too have different modes of propagation in TM. So TM00, TM01, TM10. We'll see what are the modes which are possible and which are not possible. And by using the expression, we'll see that how to calculate the cutoff wavelength and maximum mode or dominant mode, which one is been possible and which are not possible. Okay. So these are the two topics which we have discussed. As I am taking this type of mode of teaching so that it consumes more time and it has been very easy to understand. So we have explained about all the frequency, modes of propagation and cutoff frequencies. Work on it. If you have any doubt, you can ask me in the next class so that I will be clearing it out. Is that okay, Andy?
Okay, sir.
Okay, fine. Please send the attendance, Andy. CR.
Okay, sir.